8:45 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news, edited by Lakshman Fonseca and read by Mario Vijayawardena. The headlines. President Ranil Wickremesinghe says that he is not criticizing people who fail to accept responsibility for running the country after the political crisis. Minister Manushana Akkara says the initiatives introduced by the President to stop bribery and corruption should continue. The Sri Lanka Army returns over 100 acres of land to the rightful owners in Jaffna. The Sri Lanka Navy has arrested 22 Indian fishermen and taken into possession 3 trawlers for allegedly poaching in Sri Lankan waters. A heat advisory issued to the caution level in 18 districts tomorrow. A US military ship heading to Gaza to build a port. President Ranil Wickremesinghe says that he is not criticizing the people who failed to accept responsibility for running the country after the administration changed as a result of the campaign Aragalaya. He stated that the cause was a lack of capability, which has already been proven right now. The President made these remarks at the opening election rally of the UNP held in Kuliapitiya at the municipal grounds today. Our correspondent reports that the municipal grounds was packed with party supporters and party members, and the meeting was a full success. At the rally, the President also invited former UNP supporters who are now helping the SJB to rejoin the UNP and to help develop the country. The President also mentioned that he is paying his gratitude today for all the political parties who helped to recover the country after the political and economic crisis. He said the SJB, the SLFP and the JVP, together with all the other political parties, helped him to recover the country to normalcy. Minister Manushana Akkara says the initiatives introduced by the President to stop bribery and corruption should continue. He said the President executed some rules and regulations to curb these malpractices. He added, it is a duty of all the citizens, including politicians, business people and also the government servants, to take measures to control such malpractices. The minister also noted that the President had instructed him to open more vocational training opportunities for the younger population and to initiate the Smart Youth Societies island-wide. The minister made these remarks at a ceremony held to mark the initiation of the program named Smart Change for Athugalpura, held in the Vahara Playground in Kurunegala this morning. The Sri Lanka Army has returned over 100 acres of land to the rightful owners in Jaffna. The government returned the ownership of lands to the rightful owners in the Jaffna Peninsula this morning. The Army said it marks the 24th consecutive release of lands previously occupied by the military. The commander of the security forces of Jaffna, Major General Chandana Wickremesinghe, said a total of 109.56 acres were returned, including 5 plots in the Jaffna district and 7 in the Kilinochchi district. The release of lands is part of an ongoing effort by the Sri Lankan government to return the occupied lands to their rightful owners. The process is carried out under the guidance of the Commander of the Army, Lieutenant General Vikram Liyanage, and the supervision of Sagar Rathnayaka, the Chief of Staff to the President and the National Security Advisor. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
At People's Bank, we empower your pride. People's Bank, pride of the nation.
The Sri Lanka Navy has arrested 22 Indian fishermen and taken into possession 3 trawlers for allegedly poaching in the Sri Lankan waters off the Kovilan lighthouse in Karenagar. The apprehensions were made during a special operation carried out between the late hours of last night and in the early hours of today. The Sri Lanka Navy said the Northern Naval Command deployed a fast attack craft to chase away a cluster of Indian poaching trawlers, having spotted them as they were engaging in illegal fishing in the local waters of the Kovilan lighthouse. The operation resulted in the seizure of 3 Indian poaching trawlers and the apprehension of 22 Indian fishermen, who were subsequently brought to the Kankasanturai harbour and are due to be handed over to the Mailadi Fisheries Inspector for onward legal proceedings. The Navy continues to conduct regular patrols and operations in Sri Lankan waters to curb illegal fishing practices. A heat advisory has been issued to caution level in 18 districts tomorrow. The Met Department says the temperature felt on the human body is expected to rise up to the caution level in 18 districts, including the Colombo, Gampaha and Kaluthara districts tomorrow. The department added the temperature felt on the human body is expected to increase up to the caution level at some places in the western, northwestern, southern, northern and north central provinces and in the Mundragala, Ratnapura and Trincomalee districts.
You have got a transfer.
That's all right, sir. They are all our children.
The right decisions with noble intentions bring pride. At People's Bank, we empower your pride.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
The Sri Lanka Army returns over 100 acres of land to rightful owners in Jaffna. The government returned the ownership of lands to the rightful owners in the Jaffna Peninsula this morning. The Army said it marks the 24th consecutive release of lands previously occupied by the military. The commander of the security forces of Jaffna, Major General Chandra Wickramasinghe, said a total of 109.56 acres were returned, including 5 plots in the Jaffna district and 7 in the Kilinochchi district. The release of lands is part of an ongoing effort by the Sri Lankan government to return occupied lands to their rightful owners. The process is carried out on the guidance of the Commander of the Army, Lieutenant General Vikum Liyanage, and the supervision of Sagala Rathnayaka, the Chief of Staff to the President and the National Security Advisor.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
And now in Watchlight, the Ministry of Health warns that there is a risk of an increase in rabies due to the absence of a proper program to control the free-roaming dog population in cities. The ministry said that more than 6 million stray dogs are roaming freely around the country and point out that the program to perform sterilization surgeries for these dogs has also been crippled. The health authorities also point out that although various programs have been implemented in the past with the aim of controlling rabies and the dog population, the lack of proper implementation of such programs has led to this situation. A total of 16 people have died after being bitten by stray dogs last year, the health authorities say.
Coming up, World News.
In world news headlines now, a US military ship is heading to Gaza to build a port. The production of dual beer hit by a cyber attack. More climate records fall in world's warmest February. A US military ship is sailing towards the Middle East carrying equipment to build a temporary pier off the coast of Gaza. The support ship General Frank S. Besson set sail from a military base in the state of Virginia on Saturday. It comes after President Joe Biden said the US would build a floating harbor to help get aid into Gaza by sea. The UN has warned that famine in the Gaza Strip is almost inevitable and children are starving to death. Aid deliveries by land and air have proved difficult and dangerous. The World Food Programme had to pause land deliveries after its convoys came after gunfire and looting. And on Friday there were reports that 5 people had been killed by a falling aid package when its parachute failed to open properly. The US ship departed less than 36 hours after Mr. Biden made his announcement, US Central Command wrote on X. The Pentagon has said it could take up to 60 days to build the pier with the help of 1,000 troops, none of whom would go ashore. Charities have said those suffering in Gaza cannot wait that long. Production at 4 breweries owned by a Belgian beer firm Duvel has ground to a halt after a cyber attack. The company says it fell victim to the suspected ransomware attack during the night from Tuesday to Wednesday. Initially, 5 of its production facilities were shut down. One has since come back online. Duvel said it was currently unable to give further details as the investigation into the cause of the cyber attack is ongoing. The built-in command systems and alarms in the IT system worked well, so our IT department was immediately informed of the attack, the company said in a statement. Duvel said that one plant in Port-Saint-Amand in Belgium was now back up and running, but production at the other 4 was still halted. The EU's climate service says last month was the world's warmest February in modern times. Each month since June 2023 has seen new temperature highs for the time of year. The world's sea surface is at its hottest on record, while Antarctic sea ice has again reached extreme lows. Temperatures are still being boosted by the Pacific's El Nino weather event, but human-caused climate change is by far the main driver of the warmth. Heat-trapping greenhouse gases are unequivocally the main culprit, stresses Professor Professor Celeste Saulo, the Secretary-General of the World Met Organization, carbon dioxide concentrations are at their highest level for at least 2 million years, according to the UN's climate body, and increased by near record levels again over the past year. And now the main points of the World News segment once again. A US military ship is heading to Gaza to build a port. The production of dual beer hit by a cyber attack. More climate records fall in world's warmest February.
Development News.
The Board of Investment BOI has appointed a committee to formulate a proposal for a package of incentives and concessions to spur investments in Sri Lanka. The BOI Director General Renuka Mbirakum stated that a committee would be appointed to formulate a proposal for a package of incentives and concessions to be offered to any investor. She noted that this proposal would be finalized within 4 months and would likely to be introduced in the 2025 budget. She further stated that they would not be discriminating based on the investor's origin in granting these concessions. She added under the aforesaid proposal that the concessions and incentives would be open to all provided that they met the specific investment thresholds.
Moving on with sports news.
A team of junior badminton players from Sri Lanka returned to the country, winning 9 gold medals and 6 silver medals at the South Asia Regional Junior Badminton Championship 2024. The matches were held in Islamabad, Pakistan. The Sri Lankan juniors reached all 10 finals in the under-15 and 17 categories and won 9, losing only to Pakistan in the boys under-17 men's doubles, with Tejuri Herap and Mihila Jayavira having to settle for the silver 2-1. The Sri Lankan teams won a gold medal in the under-17 men's singles, women's singles, doubles in mixed and women's in a stunning show of their promising potential for the future. In the under-15 category, the Sri Lankans made complete domination, winning gold in the men's and women's singles and the doubles in men's and women's and the mixed categories too.
Go ekak tiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු ගීන හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The Bank of Ceylon BOC reported a profit before tax of 40.3 billion rupees for the year ending on the 31st of December 2023, demonstrating a strong and steady performance across various dimensions. The Bank of Ceylon chairman Ronald C. Pereira stated that the bank was successfully navigating all headwinds that came across during the past few years, and the immediate measures were taken strategically and ensured the business continuity and uninterrupted services to their valuable stakeholders.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak tiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු ගීන හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
And now in economic news, the Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority says the percentage of tourists visiting Sri Lanka for Ayurvedic treatment is growing. It added in relation to overall monthly arrivals over the past 6 months, it has shown positive growth. According to the Ministry of Health, medical tourism is a form of health tourism that commonly refers to people travelling to another country to obtain medical treatment. The SLTDA chairman said Sri Lanka needs to have high-quality medical facilities to facilitate a variety of patients in order to draw medical tourists, just like it does in Thailand and India. However, professional expertise must be focused on developing the necessary facilities and equipment in this regard, the SLTDA's chairman added.
Weather report.
The Met Department predicts showers or thunder showers to occur at a few places in the Ratnapura, Kaluthara and Mathura districts in the evening or night. Mainly dry weather will prevail in the other areas of the island. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in the western Sabaragama and Uva provinces and the Gala and Mathura districts during the morning. That was with the report. And now the headlines of this news broadcast once again. President Ranil Wickremesinghe says that he is not criticizing people who failed to accept the responsibility for running the country after the political crisis. Minister Manusha Nanayakara says the initiatives introduced by the President to stop bribery bribery and corruption should continue. The Sri Lanka Army returns over 100 acres of land to the rightful owners in Jaffna. The Sri Lanka Navy arrested 22 Indian fishermen and 3 trawlers for allegedly poaching in Sri Lankan waters. A heat advisory issued to the caution level in 18 districts tomorrow. A US military ship is heading to Gaza to build a port. That concludes this news broadcast. You are with Radio Sri Lanka.